Let's hear from the coach. This is Behind the Beard with Bobby Smirniotis, Forge FC head coach and sporting director. Now, the woman who takes us there, here's Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio
phone
Network.
case situation when I was on the plane coming back, because I felt like everyone was reading my screen. You got the little protector.
100%. That's what you need.
And you know what's worse than a window seat? Because I know you don't like it.
Yeah.
The middle.
Why were you in the middle?
I don't know. That's just where my seat was.
You didn't check in 24 hours before?
I did, but it was.
Time was your flight?
I did the absolute bare minimum overnight. Red eye.
Red eye.
It was at 12:30.
But you didn't check in the day before at 12:30.
No, but what are you saying? Because it said there was an additional cost to select my seat.
Why? Who'd you fly with?
Flair.
Never done that. Never done that.
Anyways, context, talking about the trip home from Calgary.
Yes.
How was your trip home? Did you go on Sunday night?
We got back Sunday, yeah. So we flew out, I think it was around 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay. And did the team do anything together? I know there's maybe a brunch planned or something the next day.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have all our meals together, so nothing changed from that end. With it being an away game, we were together for breakfast and lunch before we head off to the airport to get back here. Got back here a little late. I think it was by midnight everyone was home.
Was home. Not for me. 7 a.m. arrival. Hamilton on.
There you go. Not bad.
Went to class too.
Well done.
But also, I was thinking, I don't know why I'd never been on a plane before without the outlets. Remember we had that conversation? That was me. No phone. Phone died. I wasn't going to do the cockpit charger. I just...
On the plane, no outlets?
No outlets.
Flare.
Like bare minimum.
Yes. That happens.
What you gotta do?
That happens.
I know you're not one to talk after a game, especially in the regular season. You don't like to unpack, but obviously this was a different situation. So in the locker room after the game, were you able to like chat with the guys and at least give a longer conversation than what's usual?
No, had a discussion with the guys when we got back to the hotel.
Okay.
You know, after the game, there's different things going on. You have media, you have all of that stuff, and you just want the players to decompress. And that's how it usually is. Even here at home games, if I walk in, I'll say something for 30 seconds, and you give something else a little bit later in the day or the next day. In these situations, we're away, so we got back to the hotel, had dinner, and just had a quick chat with the guys about things. Obviously, there's disappointment around the team in the final result, and that's the reality of when it's a final game, because there's nothing else. There's nothing else, but you can't forget and let that be the moment that defines this season, because the season was excellent for us. I think somebody asked me about some of the best seasons of Forge teams, and I mentioned 2021 and 2024, and ironically, they're both years where we don't lift the North Star Shield or Cup. Right?
Yeah.
We've lifted all versions of CPL trophies.
Yeah.
There's been 3 trophies, so we've got all 3, and sometimes I mix up which one is which. But yeah, that's what we talked about with the guys. We set some goals at the beginning of the year. We reached one of them. A big goal for us was the Canadian Championship and what we do there, and we fell short of our goal of playing for a championship, playing in a final of that, and we put ourselves in position in a difficult time for the team. Towards this end of the season to play for another championship.
Yep.
And we fell short. But immensely proud, and the guys immensely proud. And, the fight we had to put in through the last month or so of the season, we will never talk about this before the game, but the reality, to discuss after, because if you discuss before, you're preparing yourself for something, and I was preparing myself for victory. But, after the game, it's, and it's reality that Daniel Parra is a player that's missing from the team. Eliman Cisse is a player missing from the team. Garven Metusala is a player missing from the team. 100% Tristan Borges is missing from the team. An excellent striker we brought in, Victor Clonaides, we didn't get to see, right? And I think most teams in global football, if you name 6 excellent players that can contribute and they're not there, a team doesn't have success like we did. And I think that's the beauty of our team. It's that's the success we had. It's the ability to rely on players, to ask the next players to step up. And that's what we're proud of. Again, left with a bitter taste at the end, but very happy with the season. That's what we've been doing this week. With a lot of our interviews, one-on-one with the players, is discussing that. Is that we reached a lot of our goals as a team this year. Obviously, we want more, but that's who we are as Forge.
Yeah,
we always want more.
I see what you're saying in terms of prior to this final, recognizing the situation you're in terms of player absences, but not necessarily manifesting what the implications might be and like forecasting, the effects of that.
No, because you've got players that can go out there and do the business, and that was shown on Saturday too.
Yeah.
There's a tale of two halves. They were the better team in the first half. We were the better team in the second half. But we've gone back in the score enough that it's sometimes tough to get back to. I think it's fair that they had one goal in the first half, and that would have been a lot different going into the second half with our reaction. But the two always makes things difficult in playoff football, and we threw everything that we had to go forward. It just wasn't enough on the day.
Yeah. Okay, I have some more questions, bigger picture, but I do want to get into this game in more detail. As you said, not the start or first half that Forge would have wanted. I think it's fair to say that gave Cavalry an immediate advantage. Looking at the 30th minute, you talked about this in the press conference too. Nana had to come out with injury. Tristan Borges just came back in. Obviously, this isn't detrimental, but still unexpected. So how do you think that would have impacted the game?
Yeah, I think Borges had a very positive impact on the game. So it's always easy to talk about hypothetical situations after the game, and it'd be easier for me to say more about the game. But if you've heard me over the last couple of years, you may have heard the fact that I've never rewatched the final that we've played in.
How do you know so many details about them then?
It's whatever's in my brain.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no.
But I feel like you always recall specific moments.
It's true, and somehow from the first year I never watched it. Second year didn't watch it, and it's one of those things. It's final.
Yeah.
You've won. 2 days later, it's gone from my head too. It's we have work to do. We have 2 months of the season.
Win or loss doesn't matter.
And it's how I'm programmed. And you've lost the game, you move on. You got to go on to the next thing. You're going to feel great for 2 days. You're not going to feel great for 2 days, and off we go. Mm-hmm. It's in this situation, it's the same thing. Excellent season. We've lost the game. What are we going to look at? What went wrong, so we can work on that when. Yeah. There's no more training. There's no more games, and maybe it's a crazy way of thinking, but that's how I've gone about it all these years, and we already started preparations for the next season. We've got things in front of us. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, reflecting on that isn't the same as the regular season. When I ask you about 1 week going into the next versus the final going into CONCACAF, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is. And like I said, it's whether you win or lose. It's been the same throughout, because it's not going to dictate what I'm going to do 2 months from now.
Yeah. Okay, well, this next one might be a little bit contradictory, but I've already got it planned. And I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were, apart from unplanned substitutions like that. What else would have contributed to the uncharacteristic start?
Yeah, I think just we weren't clean enough on the ball in possession. If we're good in possession, that's what we usually are. We gave the ball away uncharacteristically in about, I want to say 6 to 8 moments in the first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you do that, and you feed into the energy of the opponent, even though in a lot of those cases it was what I in tennis will call unforced errors, where it wasn't that it was a matter of pressure or something that they did. It was just us making some
doing it to yourself.
Uncharacteristic decisions. But that sways the field. Those 8 moments of giving up the ball may turn into 3 minutes of possession for the opponent. 3 minutes plus the other 3 minutes. They already had 6 minutes in first 20 minutes of the game. When the ball's only live for 10, now that starts looking like a lot.
Yeah.
So if you just play around with the numbers, you know what that brings. And I think that was.
Sorry, I was just going to say, that I'm not playing around with any numbers,
but just off of that, that's what swings the game around.
Yeah,
then,
I see what you're saying.
The flip side happened in the second half, where all the momentum went for us, and it wasn't just a matter of the goal. It was before that. We came out with an excellent fire. We had the opponent turning the ball over as we were pressing and doing more, because there you have a decision to make. You got 45 minutes left.
Let's get her going.
You're either going to go or you're not, and we're not a team that's not.
So what was the reaction at halftime, and what were the conversations had amongst the players? And
mostly, a lot of positive reinforcement on what we need to do.
Okay.
Guys, it wasn't good enough. We've made some mistakes and so on. The only way you can correct that is by putting energy in the team and asking the team to be energetic in the field. So maybe, you don't start the first half with a lot of run and gun pressing and so on. If you see that the guys are not activated enough, that's the only way of doing it. Whether you're going to be good on the ball or not, you can activate them by just pushing them.
Right.
So we asked that from the players, and I thought they did that fantastic.
Yeah.
And we get a goal early in the second half, and we kept on going. And it's not easy all the time. But credit to the guys. We fought for it. It's something we wanted. Something we wanted to have. On that day, it goes to another team.
Yeah.
That's football.
Well,
you want to be on the positive side more often than not. And that's how it goes.
I was just going to say, with regards to that second half, the way the players responded, it was 68% possession in favor of forward. You also outshot Cavalry. Alex obviously scoring pretty soon into the second half. And Daniel Parra, as you said, he's been absent these past couple games, but eventually entered. What do you think he was able to do? And do you think the forward momentum was also a result of his presence?
Yeah, it's partially. You obviously got to find different things to move around, and there's a level of risk getting him into the game too. During the week he had come out of training twice, so he wasn't. There's also the risk that we had him in the game, and 10 minutes later he couldn't go after a certain run and so on. So we had to take that risk. But at that moment, you take the risks. On what we're doing and what we're playing. But I think in overall, including Daniel, there was a good forward momentum by the team. They agreed on what we talked about at halftime. They engaged themselves. We were a little bit more energetic off the bench too, in pushing the team that way. So I think that was the response.
I would expect Kyle also to play a role at not only half, but also going into the second. Just from a fan perspective, like the staff and I were sitting in the crowd. It was a pretty cool atmosphere, I can't lie. But we saw what Bex was doing. You'd hear him yelling from the field, even though we were amongst 7,000 other people. Yeah. He's doing the extra sprint. He's getting back to defend.
Looked like he was 22.
Oh, he may as well have been. Yeah. Truly. Anyways, I wanted to ask, in what ways do you see his leadership employed that we might not? You know what I mean? On a day-to-day basis, because we're seeing the extra sprint, we're seeing the talking. But
I think if you see the work ethic and you see what he's doing, and you're on the field, you better keep up.
Yeah.
Right? Because if that guy's doing it, then it's everyone else's responsibility to do it. And I think that's what he brought. In that second half, it's what happened before wasn't good enough, and we got to go. Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
Setting the bar high. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Season's wrapping up. You're having your final conversations with players in these meetings. How do you reflect on the way Forge has evolved over the past year? Because as we talked about last week, it's been 10 months, even looking as far back as CONCACAF versus now.
Yeah, to be honest, you start the season and externally there's probably a lot of question marks. Internally, we're confident in what we're doing. Because this team lost some key players. They lost Tristan Henry, Rezart Rama, Manjakar James. So you look at three crucial pieces to the defensive line. Wubin Spasias, who was our leading goal scorer last year.
This is crazy to think. I feel like I haven't thought about each one of them.
Right. Some depth pieces. So I think if you go back and you see the beginning of the year externally, a lot of people are worried about, is this the end or demise of Forge? And yeah, of course it's not, because it's the DNA of our club. Mm-hmm. And some players are going to rise from within. Malcolm Duncan, Chris Kalongo, and some players who come in are going to be important pieces to what we do in rising from within. And that's where it mostly was Kwesi Poku. It's the backbone of the team was players who had significant roles last year, but players who maybe didn't have significant roles in 2023 became significant in 2024. And that's the biggest thing. If I look at the evolution of the team, because we had some key foreign players that never got in here till late, Aliman Cisse, Nana Mpoma, and you're constantly playing catch up. But what we did in the meantime is we brought in other players into the fold that became very important to the team,
Right, prepared them.
and set the standard. And
Yeah.
I think when you look at the evolution of the team, I think that's been the biggest thing. It's how all these guys, Malik stepped up, Garven stepped
Yeah.
up into a major role. Ali has been excellent, but this year has been his best season. With the most minutes he's ever played as a pro, and you just look at that and you're like, we literally rolled a team from last year, minus 4 excellent players, and
then plus a few.
and got the best out of the guys that were here, and some of them that didn't have major roles last year. And I think that's a big accomplishment, because when you can build from within, it always makes things easier, and it doesn't have that pressure of you always having to search for something elsewhere. That's not going to happen every year, because you're going to need to look and see and get some good international players. But I think it's always been our strength. It's how we build from within, how we plan from within, and there's a steady progress in the players, and then their moment comes, and it's excellent. And a lot of the guys, like I said, and I know Chris Kalongo didn't play in the back half of the season after his injury, but he was excellent for us the first part of the season in big games in the Canadian Championship Series with Montreal. Like I said, Malcolm Duncan, Kwesi Poku, Malik, Garven, these guys were all excellent players, bounce back years from guys who didn't have their greatest years last year, and David Schwenier and Tristan Borges, who's the most valuable player of the year. And we lost 4 key pieces and rolled it back and had an excellent season.
Yeah. I think I'm just thinking about what you said last week and reminding me and the listeners that some of these guys, this is their first CPL final. And you forget about that, right? I think that, sorry, go.
Yeah, no, because we talk a lot about, the experience, the finals, and the players that have been here. And there's 5 guys.
Yeah, see? That's crazy.
Not the whole team has been here for 6 finals.
No, but it feels that way because, as you said, building from within and that cohesiveness amongst the group.
But Malik, who was an important player this year, has been here for 2 championships.
Right.
So he knows the standard. He knows what's needed. So when he has the elevated role this year, and last year he played quite a bit, but this year he played a lot more. He knows what's the full expectation is, what our goals are, what we're going for. He's not a young player. He's young by age, but he's experienced, he's battle-tested, and those are all things that are important.
Yeah, totally. When I hear about these guys in the conversation, like using the words like young players, it's kind of weird, because you're right. In terms of age, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. But if you think about their career thus far, it doesn't really click.
Yeah, right. You look at a guy like Ali, who's 24, and he's just played in 4 straight finals.
Yeah, you may as well be an old man.
Yeah,
right. Anyways, and Bex is young. That's what we've come to.
According to that second half.
Well, let's just look at in a transition perspective here. CONCACAF not for a while. Guys will be off for, I don't even know. I'm asking you to kind of walk me through what these next couple weeks look like.
I think right now everyone's out of here as of Friday. We have a couple of events as a team to get everyone together, because I think it's been an excellent season. Something we always like to do at the end of the season with the players, and then players who are reporting back here will be back either January 4th, 5th, or January 14th, 15th. That depends on the Champions Cup draw. So, it's 2 months away to 10 weeks away, but it gets here quick.
Yeah,
That's
the
one thing we know, and obviously we go into kind of what I call silly season and rebuilding some things, signing back some players that may be out of contract we want to bring back, making decisions on other players who may not be back, and we've already started well in advance of player targets that we have, both domestic and international, and just working to make sure that this team is not just as good as this year, but as a better version of this year, because that's what we always have to strive for, not just being happy with what the result was. And that doesn't change based on last Saturday. Whether you win or lose that game, it doesn't cloud our idea of where we need to go and how we need to become better.
Yeah,
because,
or the DNA of the club, as you've said.
Because winning can mask things, losing masks. You just have to have a very clear vision on how you want to work, clear vision on how you want to build, how you want to recruit, and I think that's been our steady path as a team over the last 6 years.
Silly season doesn't sound like something that would come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Did you coin that term?
No, I think it's known as,
Okay.
you know, in
It's
free
gotta be a
market,
thing.
free agent market and all of that
It's
stuff.
like, no
It's-
way that's Bobby
You know, in sports,
Smyrniotis.
in sports, there's always rumors. This is happening. This guy's going here.
I
this guy's
see.
doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
that's-
there with you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
No, we definitely don't treat it that way.
Yeah, no. Bobby, I know this is our season finale of Behind the Beard for season 2. So first of all, thank you.
Problem,
I think you've been a phenomenal co-host. I think you've developed your podcast personality over the past 2 years. Can you testify to that?
Thanks, Coach.
Hey,
Is this my end of year meeting?
This is your end of year meeting.
my end of year
I
meeting.
decided to put it on camera.
No.
So I just wanted to like give you a quick grade. I do have a report card that you can take
Excellent.
later. But do you feel like, because I remember the first time you realized that this was a podcast. You remember? Like,
What did I ask you? What's a podcast?
Yeah, you
No,
said, what even is a podcast?
We're podcasting?
And
No,
then I
no.
think maybe it was like your kids who showed you like what podcasters
Yeah.
do as opposed to like a formal interview.
Yeah.
Anyways, as a result of your great performance and outstanding development, I have brought you a gift.
Oh, a real report card?
No, not a real report
I
card.
didn't know it was gift giving season.
Well,
terrible.
I'm not going to see you for Christmas. So
Is that what that
it
is?
could be a combination.
And
yes.
I'm thinking to myself, who's left something under my desk?
No, it's from me to you, Behind the Beard.
Am I opening this on camera?
Yeah, you can open it. There's a card in there. You can read it later, but there is a gift.
For all who can't see, it's a shoe rack.
Yes.
Kidding. When were we talking about shoe racks?
We talk about it probably
every
once
week?
a week.
Yeah. But a couple of weeks ago, you're like, you need a shoe rack.
Yeah, and I went on Amazon and I ordered
Got
one.
a shoe rack.
I actually don't know if it'll be big enough because you open the door next to your office and there's an additional 6 pairs in there. I did get the double.
Yes.
Because I thought.
I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So can we tackle those?
Probably,
How
for
many
sure.
shoes are there? 6?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all those black bags are full of shoes.
Oh, great.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
There was like a 4.
5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 pairs over there.
Great. I think that'll fit 10. I think you're good with 5 and 5.
Yeah.
With
And
the
then
double
what
level.
we'll do is we have to look at the stackable option.
Right. We're going to have to maybe add a rack.
People will come into my office
it.
think they're at the shoe store.
No, but I think it's better than
It's
doing
better
like
than- yeah.
It's almost about to frame your office. So I thought that was practical.
By the way, I did find a pair behind here too.
Yeah.
Pair of brown boots
Before you
back
walked
there.
into your office, I
Yeah.
was trying to count to make sure. Yeah, so thought that would just be good,
Fantastic.
practically speaking. Okay.
Good stuff.
See you soon, Coach.
Episode
Thanks.
number?
29, 8. It's okay. Let's finish this the way it started. Poor math.
There we go. Good stuff.
I wasn't nice enough to build it for
This
you.
has been Behind the Beard with Mackenzie Barwell and Bobby Smyrniotis. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.
I'm waiting for you to ask me how my trip was. I went to Banff after.
How was Banff?
It was super cool.
Yeah?
It was really great.
Have you been there before?
No, it's
No?
my second time.
Second time.
But I'd never been to Lake Louise.
Okay.
So we did a little
And is
road
that like
trip.
past Banff?
Yes.
You gotta keep on going?
Yes. Don't ask me about directions, but I know it took 2.5 hours from Calgary, and then we came back into Banff after we went straight to Lake Louise.
Got it.
Yeah.
Impressive?
Oh, it was really cool, but a lot snowier than we had anticipated.
Oh, there was snow.
Yeah, because obviously no snow in Calgary.
No. none.
No flamethrower necessary for the pitch.
Maybe.
You think so? Was it kind of...
It was frozen.
Oh,
It was frozen for
enough.
2 days prior to the game. Yeah, the last that last part of 6-7 meters, probably a little bit more to the penalty spot, was frozen. It was a little bit better on game day.
Okay,
But the days
okay.
before it was
super cold,
it
eh?
was frozen. Couldn't put a spike in it.
Well,
We tried.
Did you actually?